Broadcasting from the First National Bank Tower, this is KLEK Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council.
Jonesboro's community radio station. Your life, your music. KLEK 102.5 FM.
Good Thursday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. It'll be partly to mostly sunny, windy today, the high near 80, and it looks like a south wind up to 25. Less wind tonight, but some breezes, partly cloudy in the mid-60s. A chance of a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm Friday, near 80, partly to mostly cloudy. Showers and thunderstorms Friday night, and spotty showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. I think it'll clear out later Sunday, and the temperatures will be in the mid-70s Saturday, cooler 60s on Sunday. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. A record nearly 3.3 million people filed for unemployment benefit last week in the US as the coronavirus outbreak spread, according to latest figures. The data comes after a $2 trillion economic stimulus bill was passed by the US Senate. Deaths in Spain from COVID-19 have surged to nearly 4,100. And the Indian government is providing a $19 billion bailout package for daily wage earners in the country.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Thursday. It's March 26, 2020. This is Community Conversations. Kidda Wonder is in the studio with you. I'm still filling in for Quabila this week. Quabila has the week off and she definitely deserves it, but the show must go on. Joining us via phone is Dr. Asher Pimpleton-Gray. She is a professor at Arkansas State University, and she is the director of counseling at Arkansas State University. And today we're going to talk about the coronavirus and mental health. Of course, a lot of people are feeling anxious and nervous during this time with everything that's going on. So we're just going to kind of get a perspective from the mental health side of things. So, Dr. Gray, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Are doing pretty good. So what have you seen from your vantage point, from your field, is regarding coronavirus and all the anxiety that's going on concerning it?
Sure. We're seeing mental health being impacted on a variety of fronts. Clearly, we are seeing students who are nervous and worried about it. We are seeing people in the community who are nervous and worried about not just catching it, but their jobs and income and being able to support their families. We are seeing, obviously, the people on the front lines, right? We are seeing healthcare workers and mental health workers who are also having to manage their mental health as well, because like I said, they are on the front lines of this thing. So we're seeing a lot of anxiety and fear, and that makes sense as far as loved ones catching it and how that's going to impact families and education in all sectors. But we are also, I'm also seeing people come together. I'm also seeing people reach out to one another, maybe in ways that they normally would not be able to because our lives are so busy. I'm seeing also people learn to be alone together, if that makes sense, through technology, through kind of any means, through connecting through the phone or other means. Again, in ways that I don't think we as a society would normally do or take the time to do because our lives were so busy. So we're seeing it impact mental health in a number of different ways because this virus is impacting our society on all fronts: economical, emotional, physical, obviously. So that's kind of what we've been seeing, and so we've really been trying to work with students in the community as far as how to kind of manage this crisis, emotionally and psychologically. So those are some of the things that we've been seeing.
And of course, what is the counseling department at Arkansas State University doing to help those with counseling? If anyone needs any counseling, any help, what services are being offered?
Well, throughout our Howell Service Center that's helping our wolves learn, we are available for telehealth. And so while we are not meeting people face to face, because we want to make sure to protect people, obviously, and protect ourselves, we want everybody to be safe and well, we can and we will meet with you via telemedicine. So that could be either via a HIPAA-compliant phone call or a video conference as well. So we have a couple of different tools with which we can meet with people and still help them get their needs met. And still help them to be able to manage this crisis emotionally and psychologically as best they can. So those are the services that we are offering is through the Howell Service Center at this particular point.
And from your observations, are you seeing more anxiety amongst adults or younger people, or even senior citizens?
To be honest, just from my experience and connections and what I'm seeing, I'm not really seeing that there's more anxiety among one group than perhaps another. Obviously, we know that certain populations are more at risk. I'm not fully sure what the kids, how they are perceiving this. As well, right? They don't have to go to school. They have to manage other ways. But I think that it's hit everybody as far as anxiety is concerned, just because the impact is so widespread. Like I said, it's not just physical. Are you quarantined and are you going to make it? But it's also, am I going to be able to feed my family? Am I going to be able to keep my job? And am I going to be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to get the supplies that I need, right? Those things that are now having to be rationed out, if you will, because people have just been kind of stockpiling, right, and hoarding and things of that nature. So I think that it's hit all groups, to be honest with you, just different ways, to be honest with you, as far as anxiety is concerned. So I know that what I have seen is just a common goal of everybody wanting to stay safe for the most part, and people wanting to stay healthy, and people wanting to really just survive this.
Absolutely. So my next question is, what can people do to help cope with, especially for those who are quarantined, and especially if these people already may have some other mental issues that they're dealing with,
Yes.
which may make them feel even more hopeless, such as depression. What are some coping strategies that you could recommend?
Absolutely. We know that physical exercise helps to combat depression and anxiety. That helps to get the endorphins going. And also we know that people are differently able, right? We also understand that. So if you are able, if there's any way that you can get any exercise, do that. That will help you. You may not feel like it, but after you're done, you will feel better. Obviously, the gyms are closed, and so you can't go there, and that would be a health hazard anyway. So what I've seen is a lot of people posting videos, for example, on social media of their at-home workouts. So sometimes that's been anything from push-up challenges, if you will, to squat challenges, to all sorts of things. Some people have banded together and FaceTime each other in a group, or Skype one another in a group to do a workout or to do yoga or to do meditation together. So if you are able, also, that can be helpful. Also, another thing that can be helpful, and it's not everybody's thing, but mindfulness and meditation. That's where you are taking time to slow down. You are paying attention to your environment. You are focusing on where you are in the moment. And you can use that time to focus on things that are positive, things that are going well, things that are going correctly. So even if you are quarantined, unless you're safe in your environment, hopefully, right? You have a home. Hopefully you have people in your life that love you. The other thing that people can do is to connect to people that have been part of and continue to be part of their support system. So, like I said, people have been reaching out more. That could be a neighbor, that could be a family member, that could be friends, that could be whomever. So just checking in with people, letting them know how you are, for example, and being honest about that. Hey, I'm not okay today. I need I need some, emotional connection, or I need some support. That can also be helpful. Another thing that people can do is to limit their exposure to all of the things that are going on. So, for example, I know that we have to keep abreast of what's going on in the news. I know we have to keep abreast of what's going on not just on the federal level, but on the state level. I know that our governor has been doing press conferences on a regular basis, as he should. Excuse me. But limiting your exposure to that. So taking a break from it, right? Instead of listening to or reading about all day the impact of COVID-19 and what people are doing and who's diagnosed the most recently and all of that, maybe just checking in the morning and checking in the evening, or maybe checking in the afternoon, and going about your life as much as you can, right? So those are some things that people can do. However, if it comes to a situation where you feel like you need some outside assistance, if you are feeling like that you may not be able to make it, or if you're having thoughts of self-harm, you always want to call 911. If you know of someone who's experiencing extreme depression, especially in this time of isolation, it's okay. Please call 911 to make sure that they are okay. There are also other places in town, other mental health services that will offer telehealth as well. So I would seek those out as well. So even though you may not be able to physically go in and see a therapist or see a counselor, somebody who can help you, you can still get that help. It would just be through another medium and another platform. So those are some things that people can do to try to help manage anxiety and cope with the stress that this pandemic is causing. Being armed with the correct information, taking some time to get some physical exercise, using some mindfulness and meditation, connecting with others who are in your support system. If you need help, call 911. If you know of someone who needs help, call 911. Seek out services that offer the telemed or the telehealth option, and really just doing as much as you can to keep sane, if you will, and to keep as much of a schedule as you can.
Absolutely. Speaking with Dr. Asher Pimpleton-Gray, she is a professor of psychology? Is it counseling? Counseling at Arkansas State University. She is the director of the Counseling Center, and she is joining us via phone, so the phone lines are not open, but you can go on our Facebook and you can watch live and post your questions and comments there. Got some Facebook shout-outs. Shout out to Derek Coleman, Dr. Sharice Jones-Branch, who says, good morning, great advice, Dr. Asher Pimpleton-Gray. I'm going to do pilots. Shout out to our own Kabila, who is watching, and shout out to one of your colleagues, Dr. Kristen Johnson. All right, so Dr. Gray, is it your hope that this coronavirus pandemic will help to eliminate some of the stigmas about people seeking help with mental issues, now that this is something that doesn't discriminate, that it's affecting everyone in some way, shape, or form? Will this lead to greater awareness of mental health and increased conversations about people seeking help and eliminating that stigma about mental health and mental illness, so that more people can get help, not just during this situation, but into the future?
Absolutely. This is something that, like you said, because it's not discriminatory, right? This is affecting everyone. No one can look at this and say, oh, well, that's just affecting them over there, like I think a lot of Americans were doing when it was in Wuhan, right? And when it was in Italy, and when it was thousands of miles away from us. We can't say that anymore as Americans, right? It's here. And it's here until it has run its course. We're doing our best to combat that. So hopefully I think this will take some of the stigma away, as far as people thinking, well, it's not me who needs help. It's those people over there, right, who can't get their lives together, or it's those people over there who are dealing with problems. I don't have those sorts of problems. Well, everybody has those sorts of problems as a result of this virus, unfortunately. So hopefully, yes, this will help to break that idea that it's them over there. That doesn't have anything to do with me.
And I definitely hope that these conversations do continue so that we can all get more help. And hopefully this will just bring us together as a country in all aspects, help us to realize that we truly need each other. So, Dr. Gray, my next question is, because some people may not understand just how mental health and physical health tie together. So if you could just kind of tie the two together, why it is important, especially during this coronavirus pandemic, to stay on top of your mental health as well as your physical health.
Great question. You are absolutely right. The two are inextricably linked. So we see stress and anxiety and depression, all of those things can manifest physically in ways that we don't necessarily connect it to our mental health. So, for example, those things can manifest in a disruption in your sleeping patterns. They can manifest in difficulty in being able to concentrate. They can manifest in having stomach or digestional issues. They can also manifest in maybe you're engaging in other behavior that you normally wouldn't, or more of a particular behavior. So I'm thinking more specifically, maybe the use of more alcohol, maybe the use of more drugs. For kids, that can manifest in a number of ways as well. That can manifest in acting out. That can manifest in more outbursts. That can manifest in being really withdrawn. That can also happen with adults, being really withdrawn. Depending on the age, that can also manifest in bedwetting. You can see a regression of behavior in that way as well. So when we talk about mental health and physical health, those two things are linked. If you are experiencing mental issues, those things can certainly show up in your physical health and in your physical behaviors. So the more that you are able to maintain your mental health, the less likely we are going to see those other things show up in your physical body.
And Dr. Gray, we definitely appreciate that insight. It's very important to stay on top of both your physical health as well as your mental health, not just during this crisis, but all throughout your lives, so that we can certainly live to be just better human beings. And I think that's something that we all want out there. So, Dr. Gray, my next question is, how does a situation like that affect those with PTSD?
Oh, my goodness. Well, any trauma or crisis-related incidents that happens only can exacerbate, should I say, those who are experiencing PTSD, right? A situation that is chaotic, that is unstable, those things do not help any mental condition, especially PTSD. So that is something to be mindful of. If you know someone who is suffering from that or someone who is living with that, check in on them. Make sure that they're all right. See how they're doing. See if there's anything that you can do, even if it's just a phone conversation or text message or something of that nature. But certainly a situation like what we're experiencing, really a crisis situation, does not necessarily help that condition. So if you know of someone, if you are that someone, reach out and let people know that if you're struggling and if you're not okay, let people know. If there's ever a time to let people know that you're not okay, it is now, right? It is this situation, this particular scenario.
And of course, we want to transition that into the elderly, because sometimes the elderly are less likely to seek that mental health. So just kind of touch on why it's important to check on the mental health of our senior citizens.
Absolutely. Well, like we've talked about before, they are one of the groups that is at the highest risk, and for various reasons, they may already have been more isolated before this happened. Depending upon the condition, depending upon what their activity level may or may not have been. And so we want to make sure that our seniors are good, not just physically, but also mentally. So any population that is more at risk, right, than another, we want to definitely check on those folks. We want to definitely make sure that they are okay, because as they go, so do we. So we want to make sure that they feel cared for, that they know that someone is checking on them, and that their mental health is also good. And so they can continue to make, good decisions, things that will help to keep them not just mentally healthy, but also physically healthy, especially like we've been talking about, since they are at a higher risk of becoming infected.
Thank you for that, Dr. Gray. Dr. Gray, we got about 2 minutes left in this segment. So anything else that you want to say to the listeners and to the viewers that either we didn't cover or that you just want to retouch on?
Yes. Take care of yourselves mentally and physically, as we've talked about. Check on others. Check on those around you. Check on our seniors. If there's something that you can maybe get for them, especially since they have been advised to stay at home, even more so than everyone else. See if there's anything that they need. See if there's something you can get for them, or have something sent their way. And make sure that you're doing what you can to stay safe and to keep others safe. The other thing I failed to mention is our Howell Service Center phone number is 972-2000. Those messages will come to either myself or Dr. Kristen Johnson, and so we can be sure to get back with anyone who calls and get them set up via telemed and telehealth. So everybody.
Could you give that number one more time? Yeah. Could you give that number one more time?
972-2000.
All right, well, we thank you so much. Any shout-outs that you want to give?
Oh, goodness, yes. I want to shout out to all of the people on the front lines, both in the physical health world and in the mental health world. I also want to give a shout-out to all of the grocers. I want to give a shout-out to all of the gas station attendants. I want to give a shout-out to anyone who is out here providing meals and providing health and providing the basic things that we need in order to survive this thing. So definitely, and to my my wonderful husband, Russell Gray.
All right. And we definitely appreciate it. And shout out to you, and shout out to Dr. Kristen Johnson, who helped set this interview up, and everyone, like you said, on the front lines who are trying to make a difference. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Is your son a warrior or a